What's up YouTube? I'm Vaughn and this is the Gear channel where we discuss collectibles, hobbies, competitive games from tabletop to video games, and today we are back with another Digimon Meta First Place deck, and today we are reviewing a purple yellow security control deck. Now we have been seeing this deck pop up like quite a bit of time, and especially recent weeks it's been showing to be topping quite a bit, but I'm going to have to be very honest. So security control, like you probably know that I have played security control like many times, especially like the Savage Lotmon won many tournaments, and so like that is like my most like competitive deck. I don't usually play it often, but if I ever want to play at a event like seriously, I usually play that specific deck. Usually I always play Digimon very casual. Like I'm like the type of guy that would give you the win just so I could go outside and have a cigarette. So pretty much not like competitive player when it comes to like Digimon, but I'm really not a big fan of this specific like security deck. Like, and I don't mean specifically of like this player's deck. I just mean like the actual build in general that everyone keeps on playing of like the new security control, because it's not really that consistent. And also like there's actually a very easy way to actually beat this deck. So it's definitely, I don't find it's very like security control like at all, or as much as it could potentially be, or if we look at other options as well. Just not really a big fan. There's nothing I really like too much about it, which is kind of bizarre because usually like you always see me like super hyped with these like meta decks and I really enjoy it. It's just like I'm not too crazy about this new security control deck that everyone's been playing. So we're going to go into like breakdowns of like the deck, but also after we're going to definitely show you what the deck is supposed to be doing, and also how to really beat this deck, because it's very easy to beat this deck actually. So before we begin, friendly reminder as always to like and subscribe because it really helps the channel a lot and I do really appreciate it. So starting with the Digi Egg, we do have 4 Upamon, which is when attacking once per turn. If your security is 3 or less, draw 1. Now, I feel like this could replace with like Cupimon, because Cupimon is when you have 5 or more security, you draw 1. And also, if you're considering that you are recovering or supposed to be recovering quite a bit, it's very easy to get max out on your security. So that's why it's a lot lower chance and it's very more situational to be 3 or less. So that's why I'm not too crazy about the Upamon. Now we do have for the rookie 4 Salmon. So this is when destroy if your security is 3 or less, recover 1. Okay. And there is no level 4s at all, so it's going straight to the level 5 because they're going to be playing with the health side. So we're going to see that all of the level 5s are 6,000 DPs. So it's for Magna Angelmon, which is on play, recover 1, which is quite good. And also it does have the inherent because you could Digivolve on top of it. So for every 3 security you have, this Digimon gets 1,000 DP. So it could potentially be quite high, the level 6 that's on top. Then we do have one of the Make Crackmon, okay, Vision mode. So on play or when Digivolving, which never going to occur in this deck, but you may trash 1 card in your hand. If a purple card is trashed this way, delete one of your opponent's level 3 Digimon. If a yellow card is trashed this way, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 3,000 DP. So if you pretty much trust a purple and yellow, you can apply both abilities. Has the inherent on deletion. If this Digimon has 2 or more colors, gain 2 memory, which is good. Then we have 1 King Sukamon. Now, I love Sukamon. I played against a person that was playing a Sukamon deck. Like, it's not like good, but it's so funny. And I thought it was like a really fun deck to play. So definitely it's one really cool deck, I think. So his on play is if your opponent has 16 or more cards in their trash, or if you have 3 or more cards with Sukamon in their name in your trash, one of your opponent's Digimon becomes Sukamon. White DP 3000 until the end of your opponent's turn, and then when attacking for each other Digimon with Sukamon in its name in play, this Digimon gains security attack +1 for the turn. So this could get rid of like pretty much any nuisance card because it just turns a a Digimon into a Sukamon. So it's pretty funny, and it's actually quite good because if you have something that's like a nuisance, you can definitely get rid of it right away. It has the inherent alter when this Digimon would be deleted by deleting another Digimon with Sukamon in its name from the field, prevent that deletion, which is actually pretty good. Okay, so now for the level 6s, we have two Ophanimon. Okay, this is fall down mode. So Digivolve from Ophanimon for 2 costs, which is never going to incur. So usually it's going to be pay 4 all the time. So when Digivolving, if this Digimon has a purple Digivolution card, delete one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon. If this Digimon has a little yellow Digivolution, so recover one. So majority you are going to be recovering because you have a lot more yellow than purple yellow, but if you do, at least you get to delete as well. And then on deletion, play one purple or yellow level 4 or lower Digimon card from your trash without paying its memory cost. So you could get a Salmon pretty much for free. Then we have one Venusmon, which is when Digivolving, all of your opponent's Digimon gain security -1. Okay. Opponent's turn, your opponent's Digimon with security attack can't attack this Digimon and any when Digivolving and when attacking effects of those Digimon don't activate. So it could stun your opponent quite well. Now we do have 3 Dex X mod. Now this is the majority of the safety precaution. So this is why I'm like, it's not a security control deck. It's literally a Dexmon deck. Okay. And we're going to get a little bit more in the explanation, but you're going to see like how it's really like focuses on pretty much Dex Xmon, because to play against this deck, like you're going to see like the countermeasure is this, and then everything else is pretty much just supporting Dexmon. Okay. So Dexmon, if you guys don't know what it does, is when you were play this card, reduce the play cost by 3 for each of your opponent's Digimon and Tamer in play. On play, when Digivolving, Digivolve 1 all of your opponent's Digimon, then delete all of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon. And after your opponent's turn, once per turn, delete all of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest play cost. Okay? So then we're going to get into the Tamers. So we do have one TK from BT1, which honestly, no. Minimum is 2. When you're playing security control, like even 4 TKs in a deck is still like reasonable, okay? But 1 TK, no, because this is the one that pretty much is going to structure your security, and we're gonna get into like more detail of like the play style, but this is like very important to play more than 1 TK. So yeah, so start of your turn, okay, memory tamer, so gets 3. Okay, when played, okay, you could look at all the security, reveal 1 card and add it to your hand. If it's a level, if it's a yellow, recover 1. So let me just tell you that if someone plays this and they have no choice, by the way. So on play, you have to pick something in your security and add it to your hand. So if it's the last card and it's not yellow, then you pretty much lose. So this actually happens quite a bit of time that I actually lost because of a TK. So yeah, that's why it's very important. So then we have 4 Mimis. Now Mimi is quite good because the BT3 is idle player's turn. Okay, if an opposite card is played, you can suspend it and gain 1 memory, which is very, very good. And usually, like a lot of people forget this for X antibody option card. So when they do X antibody, like a lot of people forget that you have to play it. It doesn't just go underneath your Digivolution. So a lot of people forget that. So they go and they do that expecting to go game, and then you just tap all your mimis, and you're like, cool, pass turn, it's my turn. Alright, then we have 4 Karis. Now, Kari is very good, so BD4. So, all turns, if a security is removed, you can suspend it to gain 1 memory. Now, this could actually apply with quite a bit of cards, or even TK, you could use it with, because it does take a security and then also recover security, so you could actually suspend your Kari, so then you could gain an additional memory as well. So there's actually a lot of good plays to do with Karis. So this is why I say like TK should be actually increased in the number. Then we have TK and Kari, which I'm not a big fan of, to be very honest, because if you think about it, if you have fewer security cards than your opponent, gain 2 memory. So this is not going to be a good situation, and we're going to explain why, because there's proper approach of, like, if you're against good players, this is the worst card to have. Okay. And if like this is something that's good if you're against like people that don't know how to play against security control, but if you're against good players, this is the most deadest card that you're going to possibly have, because you're never going to have like fewer than your opponent. And also like there's other options, like he's playing three of this could be a Kari from BT8. Okay, so you could have two Kari from BT8 and then one more TK, because Kari from BT8 is actually really good because you gain a memory on your turn if you recover. So there's actually a lot of follow-up plays that you can do, and it's also a memory tamer as well. Okay, next we do have, which I thought was actually pretty cool, is Digimon Emperor. So at 2. Now, Digimon Emperor, the thing that I like about it is that it actually does stun your opponent a bit. So, all turns when your opponent's level 5 or lower Digimon is deleted, you may suspend this tamer to trigger draw 1. Okay. Opponent's turn. If your opponent's level 3 Digimon moves from the breeding area in the battle area, gain 2 memory. So, this is actually really good if you don't want your opponent to spam. So, and it usually like comes up like quite a bit of times, because this is something that you have a choking point that it's going to like catch your opponent off guard. If they're actually focusing already a Digimon out and they decide to Digivolve in the resting area and they stuck to the level 3, and then they're focusing on the Digimon that they have already out, then on your turn, if you go and you play Digimon Emperor, then in the breeding, they literally have to skip it and then Digivolve it, or they have to raise it and lose the 2 memory. So there's ways around it, but there's a proper way of when to play at the same time. Okay. Then we have one Blade of Truth. So this draws this draw 1 for every 2 security you have. So if you have 6, cool, you draw 3. Okay, so playing that at 1. 4 Holy Waves, so cost 6. Okay, recover 1, and then security is you play for free, so free recovery is always nice. We have 1 Reinforced Memory, because we're only going to allow that one. If you guys are not familiar with this, is that reveal the top 2 cards of your deck, place one of them face down on top of your security stack, and add the remaining one to the hand, and then place the rest in place this card in the battle area, and then it has the delayed of gaining 3. So 3 is quite high, and pretty much it's because the cost is 6. So, but it's completely worth it because you're stacking your security and you're getting a free card to hand. So it's really good. Okay, now for more options, we have Wyvern's Breath, okay, which is still an amazing card, by the way. It's okay, reduce the DP by 15,000. Okay, so this pretty much gets rid of like quite a bit of stuff, and a lot of stuff cannot protect it, because even though if they use the ability for deletion, okay, they still going to die because it's going to be at 0 DP. But at the same time, there's a lot of plays that your opponents could play when they do this. So if they do it on like the newer like Chaos Dramon or stuff like that, they could still use the ability to protect it, trigger to do like the trashing and other optional effects as well. So there's quite a bit of abilities that you could do still, even though if your Digimon is about to die. So back then, like a lot of people did do it for like specific like abilities to trigger other effects, but now it's pretty much that you're going to see a lot of people still going to do the protection and just to trigger other effects, even though it's not going to really be protected after. So yeah. Then we have one Calling from Darkness, pretty much focusing on the Dex Xmon. But yeah, so it doesn't really add too much to it. So this is why I'm saying it's going to be pretty much a Dex Xmon with like a few security control. So yeah. One shorts, which I'm very surprised, because shorts should at least be at 2. And I've been seeing like so many different builds, like people playing at 1, 0, or 2. I never seen like a consistent amount with like shorts, but shorts should be at 2, because it's like board. Like if you're playing quite a bit of tamers, okay, which you are, you do want to maximize as much as you can with this card. So this, I would actually take out the blade over here and actually put the second shorts. Then we have 4 Chaos Degrade, which is amazing because place one of your opponent's Digimon on the top or the bottom of the security stack. And if you did, trust the top card of your opponent's security stack, which is quite good. Now, people forget that its security ability is not the same as the main. The security is just places and doesn't trash, okay? So you just place a Digimon at the top or the bottom, but it does not trash. So a lot of people think it's both the same ability, but it's not at all. Then we have 4 Flame Health Scythe, okay, which is one of your opponent's Digimon gets 6000 DP, minus 6000 DP. Then you may play 1 purple or yellow Digimon with 6000 DP or less from your chest without paying its memory cost. So that's why you saw the level 5s. They're all 6000 DPs. So you could get your Magna Andromon for free and recover. So it's quite good. And then you have this card, which I won't even pronounce. So pretty much, if you have 3 or more security cards, one of your opponent's Digimon gets 12,000 minus 12,000 DP for the turn. And if you have 3 or fewer security, place one of your opponent's Digimon face down on top of their security stack. So if you have exactly 3 security, you can apply both of them, which is quite good. And you know what? I'm going to have to say, if you're playing quite a bit of option cards and any security, you might want to consider playing Avenged Kidmon, because especially if you are playing of recovering quite a bit, you are going to tend to like deck out. And especially if you're playing any security and control deck that's like heavy security control deck, so not like your basic like Chaos deck or Angel and or Lady Devimon deck. We're talking about like any heavy security control deck that plays Flame Hell Scythe is a deck that can potentially deck out, and that you kind of do want Avenged Kidmon to restack your deck so then you can start recovering and continuing as well. So this is a deck that can easily deck out. Okay, so a lot of you guys have asked me if I could do a slow break and actually show the whole list so you guys get a clear view. So we're going to do it just for you. So make sure you guys definitely like and subscribe, because it really helps the channel a lot and I do really appreciate it. And we're going to get into how to destroy this deck. So as you can see, we have 4 of Hellscythe, 3 of this one, and then if we scroll a bit more, we see 1 Wyvern's Breath, 1 Calling from Darkness, 1 Shorts, and 4 Chaos Degrade. Then we have 2 Digimon Emperors, 1 Blade, 1 Holy Wave, 4 Holy Waves, sorry, and then 1 Reinforced Boost. And then for the other tamers, we have 1 TK, 4 Mimis, 4 Karis, 3 TK and Karis. Then over here, we have 1 King Sukamon, 2 Ophanimon Fallen Down Mode, 1 Venusmon, 3 Dexmon, and then finally we have the 4 Upamon, the 4 Salmon, the 4 Magna Angelmon, and then the 1 Make Crackermon Vision Mode. And now let me discuss on this deck. So security control, it does 1 key factor. So even like all the other ones, the main prioritize of the deck is quite simple. You are stacking your security and organizing, and this is why I mentioned the TK and why it's so important with the TK, is that your security is acting as a hand that plays all the cards for free. Okay, so 0 cost and everything. So you want to go and organize that stack in a specific way. You want to make sure that it has specific cards in it that are going to benefit you. So you're always changing that security stack constantly for your ideal. Now, for you to be able to play all those cards for free, your opponent needs to attack. And this is the key factor of how to be a security control deck, because this is why decks like this loses to Dialboromon, loses to like Rookie Rush, or even to, what is it, Armor Rush as well. So any Vmon deck pretty much kills this deck, okay? And it's pretty simple. It's like you just need to spam your board and do not declare an attack until you are ready to start declaring an attack. And this is why I think it's ironic, because usually a lot of people are scared of like shorts, like, oh, it's going to like pop everything. It's like, no, you have to remember that even they're not going to get a proper setup, because security control decks like these specific build, and these are like the ones I usually play. If you check my Savage Lotmon deck, it's pretty much like the exact same as like these. So like when you have a very heavy tamer and very heavy option like security control deck like this, it's very reliant on your opponents declaring an attack. Okay, you cannot have a full board unless if your opponent's attacking. And if you're worried about your opponent playing like option cards in hand, then allow them. because that's going always past turn. So they're going always going to play like stuff to try to get rid of your board, but they are constantly passing turn and they're not really filling up on their board, so they're not going to have as much tamers as they need, and they won't be having a proper setup. And this is why I say it's more of a Dexmon deck, and why it's so reliant on this is that your opponent is going to have to spam with their Digimon and then eventually to declare an attack, and then your Dex Xmon, this is the only part that kind of counters that situation. But this is why I'm saying that this deck is really focusing on the Dexmon, because the best way to beat this deck is to spam the Digimon and not to attack, because then they won't have a proper setup. But if they have the Dex Xmon, that is the issue with it. So if as soon as you get rid of that Dex Xmon, then you're pretty much all safe and you could just do a full out attack. So as soon as you get like your 6th Digimon out, or even like 7th for precaution, because they do have a few recovery stuff, then you're pretty much all set and you're going to win constantly. Just do not attack. That's all it is. This is how you beat the deck, is just not attacking, because they need your declaration towards the security to win the game and to set up the board. They cannot have a proper setup if you don't attack. And that's it for today's deck profile of this purple yellow security control deck. Now if you guys enjoyed today's video, you know what to do. Like and subscribe, and if you want a sneak peek of future products we're planning to review here on the channel, you can follow me on my Instagram, VaughnGear. I'm Vaughn, and this was the Gear Channel.